Okay, folks, this video is only going to be about 19 minutes long. This is video 3 of the video series that got started on Easter Day, 2026. My name is Leslie Williams. Any other videos dedicated to this video series that are not made on today's date, when I make those videos, I'll openly state at the beginning that this is like video 5 or this is video 6 and so on. Other video series that got started on Easter Sunday, 2026. And the reason why I'll be doing that is because most often I don't have time to title my videos. Okay, I get distracted in doing other things, and 99% of the time, those distractions are created by and through the criminal program of gang stalking being intentionally criminally perpetrated on pretty much every aspect of my life every single day. I kid you not. So what I'm going to do right now is dive right back into, okay, the detailed statements made in this video series, and I'm going to pick up where I left off at the tail end of the first video. Let me put this thing on here, because, okay. At any time in this video, I want you to pay attention to, in you know, if you don't hear it, no big deal, because I don't want to get off into statements about why you might not hear it. But at any time in video 1, 2, this video, and any other subsequent video dedicated to this video series, pay attention to see if you hear a constant white noise in the background that mimics the sound of traffic from a distance, yet it's a constant sound. Not the sound of a car going by, okay? A sound of where it sounds like a traffic from a distance, but that sound is identical continually, sequentially. Okay? Pay attention to, absolutely, pay attention to that, folks, because I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've already done the brain work and I've done the research as well. Oh, absolutely. Now, what am I gonna do in this particular video is I'm going to go right back to and pick up at where I left off at in video number 1. Now, I'm sorry, in video number 2, this being video 3. So one of the biggest things that these criminally insane psychos who are hosting gang stalking crimes is they will intentionally prop up massive different noises in a gang stalking victim's environments. Different noises for each ear. Now, that creates a lot of cognitive dissonance, which is a term that describes where your thinking abilities and your critical thinking abilities and even other brain functions are being massively compromised. So you can have different ultrasound going through each ear, and you can also have different infrasound going through each ear, or you can have infrasound going through one ear and ultrasound going through the other. Okay, oh, absolutely. You can, you know, I'll tell you what, there's a movie right now that's on YouTube for free that you can watch. It's called The Eye for an Eye with Chuck Norris, because he just recently died, and so I started seeing a lot of Chuck Norris's older movies being presented on YouTube for free. I like Chuck Norris, man. I thought he was a really cool guy. Absolutely. So, my deepest, sincerest sympathies to his family and friends. Absolutely. Hold on a second. I always liked Chuck Norris. So anyways, what different acoustic sounds will do is that it will create what is known as neural disruptions. Okay? I gave the example pretty in-depthly in video 1 about how hard it is to think when you're on a phone conversation and there's a lot of noise going on around you. You research the hell out of that. And that is extremely close to what's occurring to gang stalking victims concerned the different sounds that these psychotic filth will prop up around a gang stalking victim's home, including if you're homeless, they'll prop up the technologies around the tent area. You just would not believe what I witnessed on the internet. Oh, absolutely. And I'm talking about testimonies from extremely credible people. In fact, the vast majority of all, I'd say at least 99% of all gang stalking targets are absolutely extremely credible people. Excuse me. They're extremely intelligent. That's for damn sure. Oh, absolutely. Okay. Now, different capabilities that are perpetrated against the victim, because there's many different things occurring to gang stalking targets that creates cognitive dissonance. Okay, there's a pre-programmable nanotech that is reported to be put in victims' bloodstreams. Literally, don't walk away. Literally, that will go in the bloodstream, usually in the blood sugar, And since it's pre-programmed, it will be programmed to go up into the brain, crawl on the brain, okay? Because you got to remember, the brain is being monitored through remote neural monitoring, where they monitor you neurally remotely. Remote neural monitoring is a medical technology being currently used in the worst ways imaginable and unimaginable. Now, I stated in video 2 that I was going to be playing audio from a tape recorder audio file of a doctor discussing ELF broadcasting, but I didn't realize it at the time I made that statement that by the time I got to video 3, I would have a lot less video time. Because right now the memory card is almost completely full. So hold on one second. So what I'm going to do instead is just include that audio in video 4. Okay? So just trust me, because I'm going to be going back to ELF broadcasting several times throughout this video series. Now, I'm putting this on me right now because I'm openly stating I'm trying to cover something up because, oh, absolutely, it's not illegal or anything. I'm trying to cover something up so that, for one, so you don't wonder what the heck is all this stuff, and for two, so the perpetrators can never, because if you knew what I knew about the perpetrators, just trust me, I want it covered up right now. I think it's appropriate for me to do so. Just trust me for now, okay? All right, now, so, now, the psychotic filth that hosts this crimes absolutely knows, because this is one of the biggest things reported on the internet, okay? Oh, absolutely. Where the perpetrators will use different types of acoustic technologies and project different sounds, and so let's say if they prop up 4 different sounds to the left ear, like say if they record contrasting music, okay? Oh, you wouldn't believe what I know about the music situation. The contrasting music, okay? Where the instrumentation is not following a regular, free-flowing, identical rhythm. It's just a bunch of crazy, oh, absolutely, a bunch of crazy, unrhythmic instrumentations all occurring at the same time. Okay, oh, absolutely. Different electrical frequency phasing sounds. Okay, which has to do with frequency hopping. That more than likely has to do with what they're achieving through wideband through a cochlear ear implant. So electrical frequency phasing sounds to the left, an amplifier sound, and if you want to get a very good idea about what the amplifier sound I'm referring to, go to YouTube and type in the movie through Chuck Norris, Eye for an Eye. Okay, I'm just gonna take this freaking thing off. So just go to Google, or just go to YouTube search box and type in the movie Chuck Norris and Eye for an Eye. Okay, now there's a small it lasts only for like I think 2 or 3 minutes where there's a part of the movie. There's a scene where Chuck Norris goes into this TV station broadcasting room. It's a building that broadcasts TV news. Okay, and he's going into the studio part where all the electronics are at that are involved in the broadcasting of the news broadcast. So we're talking about like technological equipment. And he goes into, it looks like, yeah, so it's basically a room that's got a bunch of technological equipment and technological consoles. And I guess he's waiting for somebody to come in. Well, he actually is. He's waiting for somebody to come in. So he starts fooling around with the buttons. So when you watch the movie Eye for an Eye with Chuck Norris, okay, he goes into this TV station's newsroom studio room where it's got all this technological stuff, including consoles. And the first button that he pushes, I recorded on one of my tape recorders a few days ago. Okay, the first button he pushes creates what sounds like an amplified hum. Now that is 98.999% identical to a T to the humming that's heard in my environment I call it the magnetic amplified sound, because part of it even sounds magnetic, literally. Okay, and you can also go to Google and just type in acoustic magnetic sounds. Okay, it would be the type of sound that if you say we're at a concert, whether it be a rock concert or a country concert where a country singer does concerts at. And people that work in studios probably understand what I'm talking about, absolutely. I'm going to do a little bit more research into this because so I can come up with the correct terminology. So anyways, imagine you being at a concert before the concert starts and you're seeing all these people set up the equipment, okay? So that the electric guitars, their speakers are on the stage. And then when you turn them on and do a certain thing with them, like because I've seen it on a few movies, where they either plug the jack in or take it out and it makes this amplified humming sound. That's exactly identical to a T to one of the biggest things that's perpetrated against me in hiking areas. Absolutely. Make no mistake about it, big time. And so that tells me what they're doing is that they're intentionally projecting that sound because that sound itself is amplified. Okay? So that's one of the biggest things that's done to my left ear. And I usually endure very high level targeting on those dates. Why? Because it's not just that going to the left ear, they're also propping up very high pitched frequency phasing, different frequency sounds, but they're all extremely high pitched to the right ear simultaneously. Okay? Absolutely. My sound spectrum analyzer app has caught it the same exact identical sound frequency readouts, anywhere between 12 and 18 of them, while ultrasound is simultaneously being caught, okay, on the sound spectrum analyzer app at the same time. In other words, I brought up the sound spectrum analyzer app on 2 phones, and it has picked up the same exact identical to a T readout each and every time I brought it up. Okay, each and every time that I brought it up at least 100 different hiking areas in the past 4 years, while it's also simultaneously picking up ultrasound. Okay, so what this does is that this creates a lot of cognitive dissonance. Your inability to think straight. Now, why would gang stalking crimes not want a victim to be able to think straight? Is it because they only want the victim acting on the voice to skull with voice morphing? I'll briefly start talking about voice to skull with voice morphing, and then I'm going to segue into a more in-depth discussion about it in video 4, which is going to have to be made later on today because the sun's getting on me right now and I'm starting to really start to sweat. And plus, I'll be out of video time, so I got to go in there and do some downloading to memory sticks and stuff in order to create some more video time. Now, so voice to skull with voice morphing. Voice to skull is a technology that only the victim can hear. It's just like ELF broadcasting, except for ELF broadcasting, which is also bone conduction, except ELF broadcasting is heard in the environment while it's simultaneously heard in the auditory cortex. But they got to do some more playing around with that, which makes it in order so that only the target hears it. Okay, so that will be discussed in video 4 and 5, and I'm going to be playing some audios from some doctors who are openly talking about it. Absolutely. So voice to skull goes directly to the auditory cortex. It bypasses the hearing system, and that forces the victim to hear anything through it. Verbal harassment, but they can also take the sound of your voice and put it in the voice to skull software. Then create a sentence like, I'm going to go to Walmart, or I'm going to stay at my hiking area today to set up my solar panels for my phone chargers. Okay? And then they type that into the computer. It goes into the audio software that's got the voice skull technology in it, that's got the victim's voice print in it. Then they hit enter. That structured sentence they create through the keyboard then goes directly to the auditory cortex, and the victim hears in their auditory cortex, in the sound of their voice, the structured dialogue created on the keyboard. Like, I'm going to stay here today because I got to set up my solar panels in order to charge my phone chargers. That's the type of thing they'll create on the keyboard. It then gets sent into the software that's got the voice to skull in it, and that's got the target's cloned voice print in it. Okay? So that statement they type on the keyboard, it goes through the voice cloning software. And then it's sent directly to the auditory cortex of the victim. The victim ends up believing they're having their own thought about what to do for the day. The victim then gets duped into staying at the wooded area. And there's a couple other things that are going to be attached to this too that will really help you see it all. Oh, absolutely. So just trust me. Wait for video 4 and 5. And then the victim gets tricked into believing they had their thought about staying in the wooded area. Okay, now when you hear the other attached things that are working in concert with this, you'll completely understand how they were able to achieve the manipulation of a victim to get the victim to stay at the wooded area so measures of torture could continue. Literally. I kid you not. When you hear the other stuff, you'll completely understand. These people are wild, vicious whores. And what's one of the things that they do to make sure the victim believes the voice morphing is their own thought? Well, they create an anchored reference to the composition of the contents of the thought, the fake thought. And what would that be? The night before, they drain the chargers through the phone, creating the need to charge the chargers through the solar panels. Okay? Creating the need. Because you're not going to act on a thought sequence if the thought sequence doesn't seem to have any validity to it. So they got to create the need. Absolutely. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to have to let you go because right now I'm experiencing targeting both back in the right and left back base cranium and the right and left temples while I'm sitting in a heated environment. And check this out. The sun just got on me here in the last 5 minutes. And ever since the sun got on me, the targeting escalated. Now, I got an audio file, but I'm just going to say this. I got to find it. But I absolutely got it. Absolutely. That shows a national radio show host even openly admit that some of the technologies that these demented bastards rely on, when your sweat glands are really active, it allows the direct energy and the radio frequency energy and the microwave energy go through the body a lot simpler when this body is sweating. Okay? Oh, absolutely, right? So think about it. Right when I start sweating, the targeting to my right and left back base cranium and the targeting to my ears and my right and left temple has escalated. Okay, so that's causing me to cut this video short about 3 minutes because I only had 19 minutes left on the video for it to begin with. So just trust me, stay with this account, literally. I'm literally completely guaranteeing you that if you stay with this account, you see the first, second, this being the third video of this video series, and the remaining videos of this video series, the brain will organize the data, and then you follow my instructions concerning what to research. The brain will organize that data to my statements, and you're going to see massive, very high-end truth. Stay with this account.